Progressive Liberal Party Deputy Leader Phillip Davis has called the new constituency boundaries report manifestly unfair to voters. Davis, who served as the opposition's representative on the 5-member Boundaries Commission, which issued its report on Wednesday, which he did not sign off on, questions in a press release issued today whether or not the report is drawn having regard to constitutional norms, and secondly, whether the result is fair to the voters of the country. Davis says he disagrees with the majority party on the question of how to determine parity of the electors in a constituency. He says the majority has again determined the numbers based on the registered voters instead of the entire total pool of voters based on the census, and that is not a fair result. Davis also expressed the Prime Minister's comments about the P.L.P. leaking information from the Boundaries Commission talks. He said the matter, which are now in the public domain, are not in the possession of the P.L.P. and could have come only from the majority party. For the Prime Minister to suggest that it was the P.L.P. who leaked the information about the boundary changes, he says, is reprehensible. Voter registration isn't far off the mark, which parliamentary registration officials had anticipated. Parliamentary Commissioner Errol Bethel told our news team today that registration numbers stand at 137,600. As you know, the Boundaries Commission proposes a reduction in the parliamentary seats from 41 to 38 ahead of general elections. We asked Bethel how many voters the changes to existing boundaries will affect. He couldn't tell us exactly, but said the changes will be significant given the changes to constituency names and the reduction of seats. Bethel also noted that though the voter registration numbers slowed for a time, they peaked during the March through July period. Around 100,000 people registered. With elections expected by May, those numbers are expected to pick up as the date draws nearer. 2 teenage boys and a 27-year-old man were arraigned in court today in connection with the attempted murder of Avalon Emmanuel. It's alleged that 27 Alexis Farrington, a resident of number 19 Munnings Drive off St. Vincent Road, and the 2 juveniles, a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old, also residents of Munnings Drive, attempted to kill Emmanuel on Friday, November 11th. The trio was not called on to enter a plea and were remanded to prison. A voluntary bill of indictment has been filed. Also from the courts, police have charged 20-year-old Delano Miller for allegedly robbing a College of the Bahamas student of his Apple MacBook computer on Tuesday. According to reports, 4 men approached several students and stole one of their laptops. The suspects fled on foot. However, campus security and police officers chased the suspects and caught one of them on nearby Charter Road. Meantime, Miller has been remanded in custody until next week, when the court will decide the issue of bail. Well, this next story, quite unbelievable. A 32-year-old man is in police custody tonight. The man was found stealing diesel this morning. The incident happened around 4 this morning. Police say they met the man in possession of a number of gas containers filled with diesel. Officers say when they received information around 4 this morning that several men were seen in the area of the sports center reportedly stealing the fuel, and when they got there, they met a flatbed truck with 11 55-gallon drums filled with diesel. The driver of the truck, who is a resident of Bamboo Street, Golden Gates number 1, was taken into custody. National Women's Week observances begin on Sunday, and leading women are giving their observations about imbalances facing our gender. Former Justice Jenny Thompson told a gathering of women yesterday that she regrets the partial law that favors male parents when it comes to citizenship.
My sister Dawn married a Barbadian and had 2 children, both born in Jamaica. So they got citizenship by birth, Jamaican, and citizenship by descent, Barbadian. And they also got the right to apply for citizenship of the Bahamas at the age of 18, provided they renounced their other citizenships. A friend of mine, a Bahamian, married a U.S. citizen, had her children in the Bahamas. These children have 2 passports, U.S. and Bahamian, not asked to renounce either. Now you tell me if you think that's fair.
Meantime, Public Relations Executive Joan Aubrey said she'd like to see more women on top in the business world.
There are no women in top positions. We used to have Anatica Simonet at one time, who was the head of BHA, but she's gone on. And I think, the problem is that when women leave, there are very few women to fill their positions. And so while, we are proud of the statistic that we have 83% of women going to the college in Bahamas, I'm not sure how that's going to work out for us.
Well, it was Flag Day at St. Bede's Catholic Primary School today, and the students welcomed a very special visitor who gave them a civics lesson about the Bahamian flag. Opal Roach was there.
It started with a flag-raising ceremony with the color guard in place as Prime Minister Ingram did the honors. Following that, it was time for songs, poems, and dance.
It is more than a piece of cloth you see, for it symbolizes strength, power, and unity, bringing us together in community.
And then it was time to hear from the guest of honor. Prime Minister Ingram told the youngsters that the Bahamas is a blessed nation, free from war and civil strife. And being the envy of the world, he said all Bahamians have to work a little harder to protect what we have.
Celebrating Flag Day is meant to promote national unity, encourage national pride, and develop greater patriotism in terms of respect for national symbols. When you look at the flag, you should get a feeling of pride about being distinctly Bahamian and loving it to be Bahamian.
Mr. Ingram talked about the colors of the flag: aquamarine representing the sea, gold the sun, and black the strength of a united people.
When I look at our flag, I see the great beauty of our Bahamas with our many islands and beautiful waters with so many shades of blue. I see the Bahamas as a clear, beautiful day filled with golden sunlight. And I see that national islands, that our beautiful islands, have many things to offer.
Mr. Ingram also told the 141 students about the history of other flags, including the Prime Minister's flag.
When I'm in office of Prime Minister, the flag is raised. So if you ever pass my building and you don't see the flag up, you know I'm not there. When I depart the building, the flag comes down.
After listening attentively to the Prime Minister, students ended the ceremony with the platting of the maypole. I'm Opal Roach, ZNS News.
Well, it's time now for our weekly arts and entertainment feature. Cyan Thompson focuses on one of this weekend's activities.
It's one of the biggest concert weekends in the capital, and it's called A Night of Love. Organizers tell us that it's going to be 2 great days of entertainment.
Okay, well, Above the Rim is a promotional company that spans the course of 25 years. A Night of Love has been going on for about, I would say, 14 or 15 of those years. Over the course of years, they've brought in a variety of artists to the Bahamas since about 1986, starting out at the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center with people like Salt and Pepper, Karen White. And they evolved into A Night of Love about, I would say, 10 years later, where they always focused on keeping unity in the community. They wanted it to be more than just a concert for partying. They wanted to always send a conscious message, and each year they stay current with what's going on in the community. This is the second time we'll be focusing on violence against young children, particularly young boys. The first time was when the 5 missing boys incident happened in Freeport. And after what happened to young Marco just a few weeks ago, we felt it was only suitable that we focus back on that and try to raise awareness to the community of keeping our kids safe, raising awareness for the kids to keep themselves safe, and also focusing on registering to vote, because a lot of times we take it for granted how important our vote is, and we think everyone else is going to take care of it. So we also want to use this platform and the stars and the entertainers to just enforce that in the minds of the patrons at the concert. They're going to start the show with about 3 or 4 Bahamian artists. There's 2 nights. There's what they call the reunion concert party, where they're bringing previous artists that have come over the years, and they will be performing at Mario's. That'll be this Friday. And then on Saturday night, it's the big show. And that will be 2 or 3 Bahamian artists, Najee Dunn out of Nassau and Jaham from Freeport. And then there will be Joe, which is an R&B Grammy Award-winning singer, as well as Morgan Heritage, which is reggae Caribbean music, and of course Barris Harmon, the headliner, the person that everyone considers the messenger of love. And Barris Harmon is considered a living legend. With this being the 25th anniversary and Barris headlining the message of love, it promises to be something special. Then they also always throw in a little extra. So there's going to be Jay Holiday, another fun performer, up-and-coming R&B artist that will be on the show.
Well, that's a look at your arts and entertainment segment. I'm Cyan Thompson. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Business Beat, sponsored by Royal Fidelity. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Let's take a look at what's making business news today. Fidelity Bank Bahamas reporting a net income of $976,000 for the third quarter of this year. That's an increase of 31% for the same quarter last year. Now, some of the quarter's highlights include net interest income pegged at $3.9 million compared to $2.4 million for the same quarter last year. The bank's net interest margin exhibited a steady improvement over the last several years. Loan impairment expense of $913,000 jumped significantly from $17,000 reported in the comparative quarter. Total loan losses year-to-date is $1.1 million compared to $686,000 recognized for the same period in 2010. Having completed the car park striping at Bahamar Development's Commercial Village, Bahamas Striping's president Otario Mitchell praised Bahamar and local contractor Bahamas Hot Mix for giving his growing company the lion's share of the work that would have in previous years typically gone to foreigners. Bahamas Striping was awarded 80% of Bahamar's striping work on the advice of the, quote, above-ground contractors. Mitchell praised the company for facilitating his contracts for the new commercial center, now home to Fidelity Bank, Commonwealth Bank, Scotiabank, and the new police and fire station. The long-awaited tax information exchange agreement between the Bahamas and Canada has been signed. The print media revealed today that Canada's Finance Department made the announcement Thursday, noting that Canadian businesses can now set up business here in the Bahamas once they meet the required standards. From the International Business Beat, Britain's PM David Cameron and Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel restated their commitment to a strong Europe Friday as they sought to show a united front in the face of Europe's debt crisis. Their talks in Berlin come amid tensions between the two nations over how to restore financial stability in Europe. And in regional business, the World Bank's Board of Directors approved 2 loans totaling $90 million for the Dominican Republic to enhance performance results in the social sector, which will benefit 600,000 low-income households, as well as improve the response capacity of key institutions in the management of future disasters. Remember, you can send us an email or join us on www.znsbahamas.com or become our friend on ZNS's official Facebook page. And that will end tonight's edition of The Business Beat, sponsored by Royal Fidelity. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Clean hands are the best protection against spreading germs and preventing infection. When should you clean your hands? Well, whenever your hands are visibly dirty, before you eat, and before touching your mouth, nose, or eyes, before and after preparing food, after contact with bodily fluids, after using the restroom, touching animals and pets, or changing diapers. For proper hand washing, use soap and lots of running water. Wet hands with warm water and work soap into a lather. Rub your hands vigorously for 15 seconds or longer. Basically about the time it takes to sing happy birthday all the way through. Get in between your fingers and scrub the tops of your hands. By the way, acrylic nails tend to harbor germs and harmful bacteria. Rinse your hands with warm running water and pat them dry with a clean towel. Most important, use a clean hand towel to turn off the water faucet and open the bathroom door to avoid contaminating your hands all over again. Remember, good health starts with you. A flu shot and clean hands. Doctors Hospital is making it easier than ever to stay healthy this flu season. Come into the Sessional Clinic at Doctors Hospital to get your vaccine, or call 302-4713 or email to learn how you can arrange to have us come to your workplace and administer flu vaccines. Remember, good health starts with you.